Happy Friday, Bucs fans. You're watching Bucs Breakdown presented by PrizePicks. My name is Reed Barkus. Wherever you're watching, whenever you're watching, hope you're having a great day today. Now, on today's show, we're going to be talking about Bleacher Report named a Buck that could get cut. They could be in the danger zone. If you saw the thumbnail, you know exactly who it is. We're going to talk about that on today's show. But before I do that, guys, viewers in May, almost the end of May, basically the end of May. The viewers in May, 24.4% of you guys are subscribers. Shout out to the 24.4%. 75.4% are not subscribed. What are you guys doing? You're watching the video and then getting out of here? If you're watching the video and you like what's going on, you might as well hit the subscribe button. You get free Bucs content all year long. I'm not going anywhere during the offseason. You guys are going to get some fun Bucs videos all offseason long. So if you're watching the video, you might as well go down and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. Tells my bosses that we're doing a great job over here. And if you don't like it, you can unsubscribe. Give me at least a week. If you don't like watching me and watching the content, by all means, you can unsubscribe. And I hate the word subscribe. It feels like you have to pay money. It's $0. It is completely free. I feel like it's like following. If you want to follow me, hit that subscribe button for more Bucs content all year long. Like I said, if you don't like it, you can leave. I won't be mad. It's okay. All right, so let's talk about SirVocea Dennis, because Bleacher Report thinks SirVocea Dennis could be the best player that could still be cut. They came out with an article for each team, the best player on the team that could get cut. Best player. SirVocea Dennis is slowly but surely moving down that depth chart after all our offseason additions, including the NFL draft. But let's see what Bleacher Report had to say on SirVocea Dennis. This offseason, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers reconstructed their linebacker group. They signed Anzalone and Christian Rozeboom, and then selected Josiah Trotter in the second round of the draft. In 2025, SirVocea Dennis started in 16 games alongside Lavonte David, who retired and recorded 101 tackles, 10 for loss, 3 sacks, 5 pass breakups, and an interception. But he allowed 122 passer rating and 3 touchdowns in coverage. Dennis is an effective 2-down defender, but he may be the worst coverage linebacker on the roster or in the NFL, competing for a significant role if Trotter flashes on passing downs. So they said 122 passer rating. That's really, really bad. Like, really bad. So when we're talking about SirVocea Dennis, we know how inconsistent he can be. And yes, 100 tackles, you look at that stat and you go, okay, 100 tackles, that's a lot of tackles. That seems like a lot. Yeah, he had 10 TFLs, 3 sacks, 5 PBUs, 1 interception, but the 122 QBR is just absolutely terrible. He's not a coverage linebacker. So that 100 tackles is they're passing to whoever he's covering, and then he's tackling them. So, like, he's just not that type of player. And I think last year was his make or break season. You get that starting role next to Lavonte David, and he didn't come through. Like, he was bad. And our Falcons host, Trace Moustakis, was asking me, like, hey, would we be able to trade, or, like, you know, how was SirVocea Dennis? And I was like, honestly, he's a great tackler, great run stopper, great downhill linebacker, but he's terrible in coverage, like a liability. So next up, we're going to talk about why the Bucs should or should not cut SirVocea Dennis. I'm going to give you some reasons on some pros, some cons, and let you guys decide what you think. But before we do that, I want to give you a huge shout out to our presenting sponsor, and that is PrizePicks. I've talked about PrizePicks all the time on these shows. They are great. So if you're trying to win some money while watching sports, today's show is sponsored by PrizePicks, America's #1 sports picks app, as well as mine since 2022. The basketball playoffs are going crazy right now, as well as the hockey playoffs, and baseball is in full swing. So if you're trying to win some money while watching sports, it's a great way to do so on PrizePicks. I've been using it since 2022, so that should tell you that PrizePicks is great. And speaking of how PrizePicks is so great, they have a deal for the Western Conference Finals, Game 7. Best 2 words in sports. Game 7. Victor Wembanyama, half a point. I think I'm going to take the more on that, right? So Prize Picks does a bunch of great deals. So if you want to get in on the lineup, make sure to add Victor Wembanyama's 0.5 max discount to your lineup. Add it with another person on the Oklahoma City Thunder, and boom, you got a lineup, and you could possibly win some money. Victor Wembanyama, half a point, and then whatever you pick else, that's the only thing you're looking for to make sure that that is right. So, if you're a new user, download the PrizePicks app today with the link in the comments and description, and use code HMA. You get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. One more time, that's code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, where it's always good to be right. So, let's start with why we should cut SirVocea Dennis, because a lot of you in the comments and watching today's video is probably like, yeah, last year was the time for him to really step up and become, that next middle linebacker, maybe fill in the shoes for Lavonte David, and that just didn't happen. And I think that's number one reason. The offseason additions is, I think SirVocea Dennis not coming to the plate is why we added so many additions to the linebacker group. Alex Anzalone, more of a coverage linebacker, so he's going to be filling in that role for Lavonte David. Christian Rozeboom is more of an older SirVocea Dennis, honestly. He's more of a downhill linebacker, a great tackler, very smart, but just not very good in coverage. Josiah Trotter we draft, and then Javon Wright in UDFA from Nebraska, and then John Bullock, we bring him back. So there's a lot of people in this linebacker group. Like, there's just a lot. So like I said in the beginning of today's video, he continues to move down this linebacker depth chart. And honestly, I'm not going to lie, I think Christian Rozeboom is going to get more reps than SirVocea Dennis. He's a veteran guy. He had 122 tackles last year, 7 TFLs, 3 PBUs. But that's like, they're very similar the way they play. So would you rather have a guy who's more of a veteran, experience, and a little bit smarter maybe? I would go with a guy like Christian Rozeboom, because it just didn't work out last year for SirVocea Dennis. And they made a lot of different additions. I think Rozeboom is going to be that starting, not starting, but like backup behind Josiah Trotter. If Josiah Trotter, if they do start him, that's another story. We'll get to that in a second. But also the injury history. He has had some injuries in the past that has kept him off the field. And it's not crazy, right? When you look at his history, week 15, he had that hip injury. In 2023 is really when he missed a lot of time with a hamstring injury in weeks 2, 3, and 4. And then in training camp, his shoulder, he has had a nagging shoulder injury since when he came out of Pitt. So I know it's not a huge factor or not a huge reason why you should cut him, because we know a lot of injury history with a lot of players on our team. You don't just like cut ties and be like, oh, you got injured a couple times, you're gone. But it is a little bit of a factor of like, hey, you've gotten injured in your rookie year, and then, you have to look at it. You honestly do have to look at the injury history. But if we're going to why the Tampa Bay Buccaneers should cut SirVocea Dennis, guys, he's a liability in coverage. I physically would get ill watching him cover people, even out of the backfield. If you get a slot wide receiver and he matches up with him, you're screwed, because it was not good. It was hard. Everyone watching this video right now, I know it was hard to watch SirVocea Dennis in coverage. Guys, his grade was 30.5. His coverage grade, his PFF coverage grade was a 30.5. Producer Santino, is that good? No, that's almost the worst in the NFL, basically the worst in the NFL. He allowed 54 receptions, 634 yards, an average of over 10 yards a catch, and allowed 2 touchdowns, and then 434 yards after catch allowed. I'm sorry, guys, that is just so bad. I said it before. He's a great downhill linebacker and run stopper and in the box. Like, he's great tackler as well, but like, he's so bad at coverage, guys. And we all know this. He stepped up to the plate. He was supposed to step up to the plate He didn't. He stepped to the plate. Big ol' woo! Miss. Strike 3. You're out. I'd rather have Trotter or Rozeboom in with Dennis as depth or just cut him. Like, Bleacher Report is kind of spot on with this because I keep looking at our depth chart and I'm like, I don't know where to put him. Because last year, I thought he was going to step up to the plate and he clearly swung and missed big. And without Lavonte David, we're going to need some help there. So, grade the Bucs 2026 linebacker room after seeing it, showing you the notable additions. Grade it A, B, C, D, or F. Get your rent pedants out. I know some of you have either out of school now or some of you guys are a little bit older like me and you are not in school anymore. But, you know, it's always fun to grade whatever you got. So A, B, C, D, or F in the comments section. I want to know what you guys think about the linebacker group in 2026. Now, on to the other side of the coin, why you shouldn't cut Dennis or why you should keep him on the roster. Biggest thing is linebacker depth. I mean, it is always good to have, you know, experienced people who have been on the team before. It's good to have depth. Like that's just a truth about it. Josiah Trotter, he's a rookie. Alex Anzalone, brand new. Ruben Bain Jr., brand new as well. I mean, this whole linebacker group, obviously you're going to have the outside linebackers, more edge rushers and stuff like that, but I don't want injuries to derail this defense. It is a very new defense with Alex Anzalone, Christian Rozeboom, and all the new draft picks. Like, there's a lot of different defensive players that we've added, and I think having a good just depth in general in the linebacker group is good. And I know I was kind of shitting on SirVocea Dennis, but like his coverage grades in 2024 and 2023 are not terrible. They're not the best because it's a small sample size, but like 74.3 in 2024, and then 2023, it was 72.6. And it's only 59 snaps and 64 snaps. But in terms of depth, it's a very low sample size. Let's keep it that way. Right? Like, great depth. Let's have him not on the field as much as last year. 16 games played. He was a starting linebacker for us, and he was a liability. So the less he's on the field, the better. But always having that depth, it's not a bad thing. So low sample size for those coverage grades because they were in 2024, I think it was like 7 targets for 7 receptions. So not good. But let's keep it that way. Let's keep him off the field as much as we can and play the other guys. But depth, right? And as well as some rookie guidance for a guy like Josiah Trotter. Bringing him in, in terms of Josiah Trotter filling in the role for Lavonte David, like, I don't know about you guys. I think you can't replace Lavonte David, but it's like kind of like stepping into a somebody else's house, basically. You know what I mean? Like Josiah Trotter is stepping into, you know, a mansion that Lavonte David built, and it's like, okay, now you take care of it. And it's like, whoa, all right. Like, throwing him in there into the fire might be a lot for Josiah Trotter to sort of handle, especially when it's the year right after the franchise linebacker retires. So, like, everyone's going to be kind of looking to the new guy, you know? And that's also, as well, like, SirVocea Dennis could sort of give him that guidance, as well as a veteran guy like Christian Rozeboom and Alex Anzalone. So I think having that guidance in terms of depth with SirVocea Dennis could help a lot. I don't know how much he would, you know, guide him in terms of, hey, you're taking my job, because they play very similar roles. But I don't know. I think guiding the new guy on your team is always good. So that's another reason to keep him. And then the last one is he's got a cheap contract. Like, he's about $1 million. So you're not really losing anything if you keep him, or like you're not like, it's not like, oh my God, he's a huge salary cap guy. He signed a 4-year, $4.1 million contract. He's a 5th-round pick. Like, if you cut him post June 1, you save 1.145 on the salary cap, and the dead money that you pay him is $700 or $79K. That's like pennies on the dollar to the Glazers. Like, that's the dead money. So it's not that bad. And he also becomes a free agent after this year. So, like, if you want to cut him, okay, to like make room for somebody else, or just like, you know, 53 man, you're like gonna cut him, but like he's gonna be a free agent next year. Might as well just eat that money. You're not even eating a ton. It's $1 million. Like it's not that bad. So that's a reason. You could use that as both reasons of like to cut him, because the dead money is like 80K, and then it's not that bad. So it could go both ways, but it's a cheap contract. You let him play out his final year, and then he becomes a free agent. I don't know. That's the third reason. I would cut him. But you let me know. Would you cut SirVocea Dennis? Type C for cut. Type K for keep in the comments section. I want to hear from you guys down there. Let me know, because I would cut him. I think he's a liability in coverage, and he does not do well in that linebacker position. And you know, I would cut him. But let me know down in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching to the end of today's show. Make sure to get your Ruben Bain shirts. I'll have the comments, or I'll have the link in the comments and description of today's video. Chatsports.com/Bain. It's that nice, cool Ruben Bain shirt. And also, if you want more content, Bucs Breakdown IG posts a lot of stuff on there. If you guys are on Instagram, make sure to go ahead and give us a follow over there. And if you've made it to the end of today's video and you haven't subscribed already, you are the 75.4% that have watched the video and then don't subscribe. It's like, what are you doing? Come join the family. We're having a great time here at Bucs Breakdown. So youtube.com/Bucs now. We're having a great time. All right. Thank you so much for watching to the end of today's video. And as always, fire the cannons.